This is day 8 of the pelvic floor. This will be done on the rebounder. So I'm just going to be squatting down right now and doing 50 low pulses. And you have to start right away with the pulses and the squats. Squats are really good for your pelvic floor. And you have to really be engaging as you're doing that. You are engaging your glutes and your abs and your pelvic floor. You're squeezing as you're doing the low pulse squats. So now I'm just coming up, taking a brief little rest, and then I'm going to go back down and do 50 more. This is a really good warm-up for your lower body. Okay, now I'm putting my feet together. I'm going to squat down, and then I'm going to come back up and kick my back leg out. So you're going to be working more on your front glute area, the front leg glute, I should say. Still keep all your muscles engaged. This will really warm your muscles up, get it ready for the rest of this workout. Now we're going to start kicking with the front foot. We've only been doing this about 2.5 minutes. It probably feels longer than that. And real soon we're going to be laying on our side on the rebounder. Now I'm on my toes, and I'm just going to hold that squat on my toes. That's going to change things up, and you have to hold your muscles down. See, now we're going to get onto the rebounder, and I'm going to lay on my side. I'm going to have my knees bent, and I'm going to have my top leg behind me. And I'm just leaning down into the rebounder and holding the rim as tight as I can. Then I bring my leg up and then do it again. You can tell by my muscles that I'm just pushing as hard as I can. I'm using the rebounder for my resistance to really tighten the pelvic floor, my glutes and my abdominal muscles and my legs. So you're getting an overall workout, and you're even using your upper body with the arm that you're leaning onto, the elbow. That's really going to be working. I'm just going to lift up, and then I'm going to pulse down, pulse down. So I'm just lifting up onto my knee, and I'm on my outer quadricep there and the outer thigh as I'm pulsing down. Now we're just going to switch it over to the other side. I use the towel for on the rim. Same thing, top leg behind in the bent position. And I'm just going to be doing the same thing. I lift up my knee, and then I come down and I hold on to the rebounder as long as I can. Not as long as I can, but you know what I mean. So you're going to tighten everything up when you do it. I'm using the rebounder as resistance. That's what's really been nice about the rebounder, is I can use it as my resistance. I love that for my lower body workouts. I love it for my upper body workouts. The different things that you can do by holding on to that is amazing. Okay, now I'm just going to come up a little bit, and then I'm pulsing down like I did on the other side. I'm pulsing it down. Okay, switching to the other side, I have my legs stacked and I have my knees bent, and I'm just going to come up and then hold that. I'm just going to hold that and then come down. I'm holding for about 10 seconds, and I'm squeezing my thighs together. I'm squeezing my thighs together. So you're going to see that you're going to be working your upper body on that arm. You're working your obliques, your core, your pelvic floor, your glutes, your thighs. It's an overall workout, this one is. So we're coming up and we're holding for about a count of 10. Keep squeezing and engaging the muscles. Okay, now we're switching, same thing on the other side. Legs stacked, knees bent, and we're going to come up and we're going to hold that for a count of 10. This is where you hold really, really tight on your muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold them as tightly as you can, and just mentally think about the muscles that you are using. That always helps. now we're gonna sit on the end of the rebounder, lay back. I have my feet on the floor, and I'm going to be coming up, and I have my hands above my head, and I'm going to come up and then do a hold. I'm just coming halfway up, and I'm holding as tight as I can. All the muscles there, and then I'm going to lower back down, bring my hands above my head, and then within a few seconds come back up and do the same thing. I have my knees so that they're right up against the rim, and some of the time I come up and I have my feet off the floor a little bit. That might make it a little bit harder, more challenging. Now we're going to go back a little bit, and I'm just going to pulse it. I'm going to pulse right there at that spot that's really going to work the pelvic floor. Hold your knees, your legs together. Just hold the muscles tight, your glutes, your abs, and your pelvic floor when you come up and do those kind of moves. There's always a little rest in between, and I'm going to come up, and I'm just holding on to I was holding on to my legs, but I'm just coming up, and I'm just holding that. I have my legs together, and then come back down, rest for a few seconds, and then come back up. And if you really hold your thighs together and hold tight the pelvic floor, your glutes and your core, you really feel it. I worked up a good sweat doing both of the videos today. I did day 7 and 8, and I really feel sometimes that this is harder than doing cardio, but I don't know if you agree with that. Now I'm going to be using the rim again. I'm pulling back, and I'm going side to side, side to side. And you can see I have my legs together, and I'm holding them tightly together, tightening up, and I'm turning from side to side as I do it. I love being able to pull back on the rim. You really can't get that effect just on the floor. That's why it's really great to have the rebounder. I love the rebounder. When I'm done with those moves, I just like to lean forward, give myself a little stretch, relax. Okay, now I'm going to be using it again, but I have my arms on the other side. I'm holding the rebounder, and I'm pulling away from the rebounder. I'm holding on, and I'm pulling as hard as I can. And I'm keeping my pelvic floor tight, my glutes, and I'm really engaging my core, and I'm working my upper body, along with keeping my legs together and pushing into my legs, pushing into my inner thighs. So now you'll be able to see better because I'm coming on to the other side. It'll be the same thing. Well, you can really do a tuck by holding on to it this way. My most efficient workouts tend to use the rebounder in this way as a resistance. You would never think of really using the rebounder for a resistance. My lower body workouts are awesome. I grab onto the rim, I pull back, and I can work so deeply into my glutes. I've had awesome results with lifting and rounding out my glutes with those. So give them a try sometime. Okay, now I'm using the rim again, and I'm going to bring my legs out, which makes it a little bit more challenging, and I'm going to hold that. I'm just going to hold that, and you can see by how I look that I'm really working, and then I just bring them down, and then I'll come up, and we'll do that again. You have to pull back as far as you can on the rim. Just keep pulling back. Okay, get ready and hold on. I'm going to be pulling back, and then I'm going to come forward, and then back. See, I'm coming up, and then I'm pulling back. So I'm able to come forward, and then pull back. All these moves with coming up and down with your quads like I am, and with the few moves I did in the beginning, are really going to work your quadricep muscles. And that's very advantageous as we get older. A lot of people end up getting those lift chairs because their quadriceps aren't strong enough to lift them up out of a chair. This will really condition your quadriceps. You need to keep your muscles moving and building up your muscles. The older we get, the more you need to do this type of workout. And I just love how I feel when I'm working out. I feel powerful, I feel good, and all I can say is being 60 years old and working out like I do is a thing that most people can't do at my age. Plus, I've had a total hip replacement. So just keep going, don't give up. So now I'm coming back, but I'm holding, and this is what I'm doing. I'm going back and forth for a count of 10. So I'm going to pull back, I'm going to come up and do the mini squat, and I'm moving my hips back and forth for a count of 10 from side to side. So you pull back, hold, come forward, and then back and forth with your hips for a count of 10. Don't ever give up and say, oh, I'm too old to do this. I can't do this anymore. You have to be persistent and persistent and persistent, and then you will be consistent. You have to just keep doing it. And if you feel challenged, that's a good thing. We all want to be challenged. If I do a workout and I don't feel challenged, I really didn't feel like I worked out. You should feel challenged every time you work out. It should be challenging. You should always be challenging yourself. Okay, I'm going to be doing a little bit more of these. Okay, we're just gonna do, we've only got a little over 3 minutes left, so I'm gonna do a little roll back, and I'm gonna hold that. I'm bringing my feet apart, and I'm just holding that move with my legs apart. You can still keep everything engaged while you're doing this. Just keep everything engaged. I'm going to come down with my legs still apart. Bend over, touch the floor, and then I'm going to come back and do the same thing. I didn't get up as high that time, so I had to push up a little bit more. It's a little bit easier when you go from standing to going back because you have that momentum. When you do it, when you're just sitting like we are right here, it's a little bit harder because you really have to use your core to bring yourself up. Now I have my feet together, and I'm just doing pulsing up and down with my legs together. Really engaging the core and your pelvic floor. Now, I'm pretty sure I'll do something for the back. It'll be something for your back. See, I come up and I'm doing the bridge pose. And I'm just going to be holding and tucking up and down with the bridge pose because we only have a couple minutes left. It seems like I get on the rebounder, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think, oh my gosh, I saw that time, but before I know it, the time's up and I'm thinking, I didn't get everything in I wanted to get in. So the time went by really, really fast. I hope it goes by fast for you. And I hope you really get results from it. And I think I'm going to be... Okay, I'm doing that again. Oh, now I'm going to be bringing my legs in together. They're apart and then together. And I'm coming down and then bringing them together. You will get great results in your muscle definition and your muscle endurance. This is going to really help you to be able to step longer, rebound longer, because you're building up all these muscles. Okay, knees in the chest. I like to be able to hold that up there at the end and kind of rock out my lower back. We've only got 20 seconds left, and then I bring my legs all the way up, straight up, and then have my head up and I hold on. That's a nice stretch at the end. Now we're going to be all done. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.